What's up, guys? Welcome back to another HERR Lounge podcast. Hope everyone had a great weekend. It's a friendly reminder, Black Friday is approaching and I will have new merch available. I take pictures this Wednesday with all the new merch that we'll be releasing. I'm really excited about it. And a lot of the stuff is stuff that is out of stock as well, that's coming back. It's one item is the only thing that's new. So I'm excited about that one as well. A lot of stuff are coming back, but they're coming back as like a whole unit, like a jogger type outfit. Nice. So I can't wait because I can't wait to wear those during this winter time. So I'm excited about that. And then don't forget that today is the 15th and, well, actually, when I'm recording, this is the 15th. So if you're a patrona, your box is going out. We have a new scent for you guys. And no, we don't.
No, we don't. We're going to have next one. Yeah, but we'll have samples of other scents. And then I brought you 2 examples of new scents.
So we have a new scent that's going to come out. And then, but we're sending other scents with the box. And then on top of that, Marissa will also be having her samples in there as well. So I'm excited to,
I'm surprised she's not here today. Salud.
Sorry about that, guys.
Whoa. That came deep.
Shit. Yeah, so she's going to come on, stop by and drop off. She's bringing a variety of stuff. So I'm really excited for you guys to get these things only because a lot of good feedback about the wax melts awesome. that we sent out. And then everybody was excited about the box. I'm happy that everybody is happy about it because until we can get some people on board. I just asked Brianda about samples. That's a good one.
Dude, have you tried her collagen?
I have it, and I have it because of the breastfeeding, but I just read that you can have it
dude,
when you're breastfeeding.
I'm not even saying this because she's a friend and we've podcasted together and all that jazz, but her fucking collagen's great. We mix it with it in our shakes every morning. It mixes really well. It's non-flavored, so you can add it to anything. You just add it to water if you really wanted to.
I'm excited.
But it adds like an extra 17 grams to your shake. So in the morning, we'll do a scoop of our whatever, and it's like 30 or 25 grams, and then we'll add like another 15 or 17 with that collagen. It helps you, if you're really tracking and you want to try to hit that stuff, it's really hard if you don't track to see how much you're not consuming. Yeah. So that really helps. It's a good supplement.
So I'm excited about that. So I just reached out to her. So I'm hoping we can get some of her, because she just dropped some new items too. She's adding more to her lineup. Her line. So I really am excited about that, and I really hope that we can get some of her samples for next month because it's everybody. The reason I thought about her and fitness stuff was because of the fact that I know that as the new year approaches, many people are trying to get back on track. Mm-hmm. So I figured it'd be a great way. And then if you're a patron guys, and you still haven't responded to like I've asked you guys how y'all felt about this menu, and I've gotten no response from anybody. Like, I need to know where we're at on this. Like, do I continue to post menus? Do I not continue to post menus? Also, our Facebook group. So I'm gonna need y'all to be active on there. So I don't know that any of this was of anything, but it's a new week, so I'll be posting more stuff. And then, like I said, our patrons, I have a little something I'm going to post for you guys this week as well. It is going to be a new menu, but I really feel like we need to discuss it. Like, I need to talk to you guys about how menus work. And then depending on how good old Dawn starts to feel here soon, guys, I might have even another treat for you guys where she will be able to give you guys a discount. So before I get into that, we'll go ahead and read this quote. This weekend, Rob, was National Kindness Day. So
I didn't know that.
I posted. I gave out free coffee, bro. I put $250, and I know that's not a lot of money to maybe a lot of people, but I put $250 on a Starbucks card. It was gone in less than 20 minutes.
Wow.
Gone. I was like, who the fuck spent all this $250, bro? Like, how did it get done? How did it finish so fast? Because I get alerts for the receipts, like when they use the code, and I was like, oh my God. So,
dude, let's talk about that actually after you read your quote.
Yeah, and it's about kindness. So, because it was National Kindness Day, I thought this would be great. And it says, if speaking kindly to plants helps them grow, imagine what speaking kindly to humans can do.
Ooh.
Because we're in a time where we fucking are out of control.
Yeah.
Right? And we say the most darnest things, you know what I'm saying, to one another. I mean, like, as you know, a lot of people during this time lost friendships over politics, you know. A lot of people, like, even family members that don't see. I've talked to people that said that they no longer can go to family. Like,
I know so many people, dude.
So many people. Like, this one girl, I forget. She actually interacts with my stories a lot, and I forget her username. Maybe I shouldn't even say it. I shouldn't even say it, but it doesn't matter. She said, this will be her first like holiday, right? Which would be Thanksgiving. Then it'll just be her little, there's 6 of them. She's her kids and her husband at home. Family. Yeah, her immediate family having Thanksgiving at home.
Because of all this nonsense?
Because of this. Because when they found out that she voted Trump, it was like, you fucking...
Oh, I thought it was going to be a COVID thing.
No.
Oh my God, we're still on Trump?
Politics over Trump. I didn't know people were still that... I don't know why this man is still on anybody's topic. Like, I just like... Are you not over this man? Like, I'm over, like, I don't even think of him.
I would have thought they would have given it a break until at least mid 2022 when like the midterms ramp up and he starts talking about the re-election for 2024, but they didn't give it no breathing room. He has not left the news cycle. He's not left people's minds. He's been living rent free in everybody's head.
Is that not crazy?
Nuts, dude.
I didn't know a man could have that much impact in the world. Like, how could... I don't know if it's like somebody hates this man that much. The world hates this man that much.
They must have. We got Joe Breezy in there.
Because, yeah. And look what he's doing. And that's a whole other topic that I don't even want to get into because as I see everything, I'm just like, oh my God.
Real quick to pause. Chingos, I mean, he sent me a text of somebody that wanted to have him on their show who early on was very like, how could you do this Chingo Bling kind of thing without saying any names? And now he's like, hey, you want to come on and talk about this terrible administration? I'm like, oh, great. You're coming around. You opened your eyes.
He dogged him.
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. I don't even want to be on the episode with him.
Me either. I don't want him to even do it, but I just said whatever. Like, and y'all, this is the one thing. I'm not just saying that because this is my husband. When it comes to like him being open-minded, like I know everybody says you're just so one-sided, right?
Yeah.
He's really not, man. He's really willing to sit down and like discuss with you. Same thing with like constructive criticism. He's so good at taking it.
So damn good.
And done not one, like, if it does hurt his feelings inside, he doesn't, I don't know, because he doesn't show. He's more like, yeah. And then maybe he'll stay quiet about it. And then like, I don't know, the next day be like, I really been thinking about whatever it is that you told him. And like, I think you're right. So I was thinking about ways that I can tweak it. And it's crazy, right? Because most people are like,
they take it personal.
They take it personal. He's really good about that. And I think that's why he's always been a great, like a great artist. You know what I'm saying? Like he's great at his art because he's so open and willing to invite whatever,
Meanwhile, you and I are these Libras who are trying to be, like, we're all about being balanced, but at the same time, we're like, man, motherfucker, what'd you say?
Yeah, exactly. I'd be like, what?
Well, you've come a long way. You've said that yourself. I've come a long way.
Yeah, I have. Because before I would have been like, fuck you, bitch. Like
going at it in the comments.
I'm so much better now.
Cash me outside.
Yeah,
how about
exactly. But now it's just like, it's okay. It really, yes. I don't know when it was again that I was thinking about this. Pete was telling me something about that what was going on. And I really, honestly... I really get my updates from him because I really try to stay away from this stuff.
So does Tom, yeah.
I really try to stay away from it. I let him be my source of news, and because he's so involved, and I just can't. It's like overwhelming, and I get just like overwhelmed with it, which is we'll go into the Kanye episode, guys. If you haven't seen this. If you're not a Kanye West fan, then I get it. I'm a total Kanye West fan, right?
No, totally.
But when he did this interview with, what are they called?
Drink Champs?
Drink Champs. There was something that really stuck to me. And I'd said, I want to go live where Kanye lives when he does this. Because he's thinking about, he said commonwealth, right? Mm-hmm. Meaning we all can be winning. It's okay that so let's say, Rob, you're the guy making $1 billion, right? And you've got the way to help others and you start doing it because you want others to be at your billionaire status, right? Because you want all of us to win. Like, how much better is this world going to be, right? And when it's like, but they don't want you to do that. That doesn't make sense in the world. They want to keep poor, middle class, and rich. You know what I'm saying? And luckily, we have those three classes, right? Versus other countries, you're either poor or you're rich.
Yeah.
You know, there's no middle class.
There's no middle class.
And so when he said that, it's like people think he's crazy, but he's not. I mean, he makes a lot. I mean, he is a little, you know, he is a little bonkers, but, you know, for the most part, he makes a lot of sense. Like, I was just talking to Sean about that this morning in our training. I said, should the food supply really go to shit, which is, it's heading that direction, right? I don't know that if I went and bought land, I'd be able to survive. Like, I don't know how to like plant certain things. I don't know how to live off of my crop. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, you know, I don't know how to purify water. You see what I'm saying? Like, those things that we've taken for granted because it's been done for us for so many years because we depend on others to do that. I wouldn't know. And the fact that he was like, we need to, you know, what do you call it? You know, live off of our land, you know, and he says, you know, I want for people to be able to live. And I was like, I'm going to go live where Kanye lives. Like, I want to live where he lives because that, I mean, we've already, like, I told Pete today, it's like, today it needs to be the day we order our food. Like, we have to order our food supply today because they even said, and I don't know if it's FOMO or what, but they made it seem like they're going to have to put the cost now on the customer because so many of these things are going up to where now when it was reasonable before. So guys, if you've never heard of this, it's called
homesteading. Is that what you're referring to?
Yes, but what's the one brand on the War Room Pandemic?
Oh, you're talking about the Patriot Supply.
Patriot Supply. So check that out, guys. I know y'all are going to think I'm crazy for even mentioning this because I too thought people were crazy when they mentioned this.
Or it sounds like you're being a prepper. Yes, and preppers always had this bad connotation.
Yeah. Did you ever see that show on Discovery, the Discovery Channel? There was people that had already built their stuff underground and they're ready, their ammo, their food. I mean, they're on
Those
the
people
go.
are laughing at us right now.
Yeah, and I was telling him that my ex was like that. And I used to be like, what a fucking fruity, man. I was like, man, I just like, how did I end up with this guy? You know? And it's so crazy because a lot of the stuff that he would kind of talk about, it was like, what? And it's happening now. You know what I'm saying? And as a mom, it's scary, right? Because I have nothing to teach my children except for how to use social media and how to work, right? But I can't teach you how to grow any type of anything.
Sure.
You know, if you have that skill, bro, I'd love to have you on my podcast. If you are somebody that can grow fruits and vegetables and whatever it is that we need, I'd love to talk to you because I think that you could help a lot of us should we go that direction, right? Anyway, so Pete was like telling me about all these things and I was just like, yep. I said, I just need to find a designer to make my shirt get right with God because it's man. I had a friend that said you shouldn't put politics and religion together, right? Like those don't mix and it's just like something that's not. While I can see her point of view, right? Like I said, because I was raised in a Pentecostal church where they showed a lot of this damage that's happening in the world right now. They showed videos of that at church. And I swear to you, I used to always be like, tell my mom when I was little, you know, well, how are we ever going to get people to come to our church if y'all are showing these type of freaking movies? No one's going to want to come to our church. They'd be terrified of like, this could happen in the world if you don't, you know what I'm saying? You got to be right with God and you know what I'm saying? All these things, right? And I'll just be like, we're just pushing people away. Like that was my way of thinking. If you're not raised in it, you for sure think that our Pentecostal church is our loony. Yeah. Especially like what speaking in tongues. What is that? You know what I'm saying? Like it was totally normal. Yeah, exactly. And it's like it was normal to me. I didn't understand.
I mean, I don't know if it was normal, but it was normal to you.
Yeah,
right?
that's what I'm saying. It was normal to me. That's what I'm saying. Even whenever I would like my friends would be playing outside and then be like, oh, where are your parents going? Oh, they're gonna go pray for someone who's got like they're gonna go do an exorcism type, you know, prayer thing. And it'd be like, and now when I think about it, I was like, why? When I literally sat back and thought about it, I'm like, no wonder they looked at me weird when I would say things like that. But it was so normal. I'd be like, bye, Mom. I'll see y'all later. It was like, no. And I mean, it was, I'm not making it seem like, I hope I don't make it seem like this was happening every weekend. It wasn't like that, right? But it was like when it did happen, it was kind of like my friends were like, what type of thing?
This is actually, we've had a lot of really interesting subjects already. It's only been like 15 minutes. But to stick on this one real quick, what was it your friend said about it's not mixing religion and politics? What was the context around that conversation? Do you remember?
We were just talking about politics in general, right? And I just kind of, have you ever used the Marco Polo app?
I had it and I never used it. I downloaded it.
So that's kind of what she and I use just because we're both busy. And she just said she felt a certain way. Her dad was very involved in politics growing up, but they're from Ghana.
Okay.
Yeah. And so so she was talking about how she saw things a certain way. And I said, yeah, I was a certain way too until this last year and a half, you know what I'm saying? And I just said I was a little upset at myself for not doing more research. And at this point, I really feel like wherever you stand there and understand why you stand there. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's actually almost what I was going to lead into. I feel like, so let me ask you this. Growing up, did you feel like church gave you a scaffolding or religion gave you a scaffolding for life, like a moral compass, like it was helping you kind of develop yourself as a person? Like the good basically influence the church would have on you. You felt like it was better for you, right? Than maybe people you knew that didn't go and didn't have any of that?
I just, yes and no. Because I think that Libra in me was kind of like, well, that's you and God, but
like live and let live, but also like you're supposed to know, you're supposed to have a good moral compass already innate, unless you're a sociopath, right? So I can totally relate to that. And then as I got older, and now that I'm 32, I kind of look at everything that's going on, this huge divide with social media and the political world and all that. I can see why, and I wonder what the ladies are like in the Facebook group and the listeners, how religious they are, how spiritual they are, that the more and more this country turns into like a godless country or a less, spiritual kind of country, the worse it gets. So, I don't know what that has to say about us growing up where it was like more about, liberty under God and all that kind of stuff, the church. This country was built on Judeo-Christian values. The reason for that, or in my opinion, one of the big benefits of that was that you would have a moral, just society that believed in due process. I've been watching this Kyle Rittenhouse case. It's fascinating. Like this,
I haven't been just because it's been
2 weeks. It's been weeks, and it's just like hours and hours every day. But it's going to have a lot of impact on the country just when it comes to Second Amendment and gun rights and defending yourself and all this kind of stuff. But point of all that is that if you're not already aware to it, if you don't open your eyes to a lot of this nonsense that like you and Shingo said that like you've really opened your eyes to, it doesn't matter what goes on. Like it doesn't matter if you've got God or don't have God. If you just are just completely blind to it, it's just you're going to fall for anything. You're going to be gullible as hell.
And that's why I'm saying at this point, this is how I feel. When someone wants to sit there and like argue about it, I'm not going to argue about it. And here's why. Because I don't think you're wrong and I don't think I'm wrong. Want to know why? Because you're looking at it through your lens and I'm looking at it through my lens. Yeah. But I had your lens at one point because I saw that as well. I saw what you saw. And I did have that mentality until a year and a half ago.
And you came into it on your own. You had your own conclusion.
On my own conclusion. I didn't want my husband to influence me on it. I didn't want him to tell me anything. I didn't want him to give me an opinion. Yeah. I just felt like, because I dated someone who was already on that side and we never spoke politics. Never. Because we just never agreed. Never. And so it was better that we just didn't talk about it,
That's crazy you were together so long.
And we never agreed on that. In religion either.
Oh, yeah? He wasn't religious? Wow, damn.
Totally opposite, which is interesting. Now I think he might be, but I don't know. But yeah, so I mean, for me, it was like we were total opposite. I was raised in the church, and it's on last Sunday when we went to church, I think I briefly talked about it, where they said a verse in the Bible, and I don't know it that well in English, but I can tell you in Spanish because we used to say it.
Okay.
And it said, instruye el niño en su carrera, y aun cuando fuere viejo no se apartará de ella. Proverbios 22:6.
Hey.
So listen,
welcome to the ministry of soul.
I've always known that, right? And it's true. Raise your children up right, or what's the verse? It's something like that in English, and I don't know it, and I should probably look it up so that I can,
reference it in English.
I'm bad, guys, with the stuff in English for the Bible, because it was taught to me that way.
So you only read it in had it read to you in Spanish?
Mm-hmm.
Ah. I guess I did too, honestly. But I forgot all of it.
Well, I mean, okay, let's see.
You typing in the
mm-hmm.
What do you call it? A proverb, I guess, or a...
Yes. This is in Proverbs 22:6. Hold on. It's pulling up.
Hey, while she pulls it up, guys, patreon.com/HERR Lounge Podcast. Join the community. Join the private Facebook group. Join the private Patreon page. Join the community.
So, exactly. So, it's in English, it goes, train up a child in the way he should go. Even when he is old, he will not depart from it. And it's true. And I feel this way with my parents because... So I feel like my parents said, here is a foundation, right? I got to a certain age where they were like, hey, listen, we've done our job. What you do with what we taught you is your business. It was no longer like, I think when I turned about 15, 16 years old, that's when they were a little bit more like, and granted, they had already gotten divorced. So I don't know if that played a role in it, but they weren't pushing it on me as much. And my parents were never pushers on the religion. And I thank them for that because I might have seen it a different way.
Yeah, you would have rebelled for sure.
I might have just, they were just very like, we're going to church. This is what we do. And I kind of felt like in their own way, they said, when you're old enough to make your own decision, then you can decide whether or not this is the religion for you. Okay. But here's what we're going to do. And this is why. And so, many times, Rob, as I like as an adult, I felt like I needed a church. Like when my parents split up, check this out. When my parents split up, I didn't know what to do with my Sundays. I was like, what do people do on Sunday?
What do you mean Sunday fun day? You go to brunch?
I didn't I went to church morning and night. So we went to Sunday school, then we had a break, and then we'd go again to the evening service. Remember, my dad was the co-pastor of my church.
Intense, dude.
So we went morning and evening. So I didn't know anything but church, right, on a Sunday. And we went to go see my grandma, or we went to the mall during that halftime before going to church at night. So when they split, I didn't know what to do with my Sundays. I really felt like something was missing. So when I was able to drive, like whenever I got a car, I really was trying to find church. Like I wanted to find a church to go to. I wasn't saying that I was being a saint and I was trying to follow it. It was just like habit. You know what I'm saying? Like, just like how you brush your teeth in the morning. It was like I needed to do that on Sundays. Like we're not waking up to go to church. And I tried several churches and it just was like, I couldn't connect. And then I let it go for a long time. Then my aunts started going to Second Baptist in Katy, and I started going with them, but it was in English, so I really wasn't feeling the English service. I really wanted a Spanish service. And they teased me and be like, well, you can wear the headphones. They translate in your ear. I'm like, really? Okay. So so that was kind of like, you know what I'm saying? That went on. And then when I started being an interpreter, I thought it was crazy that I ended up having my business out of a Baptist deaf church.
Oh, yeah, you did.
So
full circle.
And I just thought it was crazy. Like, what are the chances I'm going to my business ends up inside of a church? I mean, granted, it's not in the church. It was like what they call their coffee house, right?
There's a little annex building.
Yeah. So I was like, that's crazy that I'm ending up here. The crazier part is like, I was an interpreter for like some of the services. Mm-hmm. Who would have thought that I would be interpreting for, like a whole sermon? You know what I'm saying? It was like weird. So then here's what tripped me out. I could not I would really have to translate an English service to Spanish if I went to like a regular church. But when I was at the deaf church, it's in sign language, right? And I had this is a new language for me. So it's not like I've known sign language all my life, mm-hmm. right? It's a new language for me. And I just thought it was crazy that I understood everything the pastor talked about. There was no confusion. There was no, let me go translate it in my English to Spanish Bible. None of it. It was like 100% I understood it. And I remember I went and I told my mom and I was like, this is really weird. I was like, but I understand it all. Like, there's no question about anything. Like, I'm not questioning anything. Like, I think that means that in English. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm that bad when I go to an English church, guys. I know
What?
it sounds, I know. I have no idea why. I have no idea why. I mean, I guess, think about it. 16 years of your life had always being taught in Spanish.
I get it. I
So
totally
then,
get it.
like, then now you're like in an English church and it's like, wait a minute. And it just doesn't hit the same.
Yeah, especially when it's a white person up there. I hate to pull the race card, but there's just not enough like pizzazz in it,
It's like it's almost like soccer games. You can't watch them in English because they're just boring.
So
it's like, oh my God, this is not fun at all. What a comparison, right? But yeah, so that was it. But at Second Baptist, they do talk about politics, and a lot of people don't think that it should happen. But you know what I like about it? That it's not politics like my opinion. It's politics what's in the Bible.
Okay.
Does that make sense? And how what's in the Bible is happening today.
And somehow they spin it into a cultural, political kind of
and
conversation.
so sometimes it turns into that. And I can see why people stand that way, right? That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like now people are so mad at each other for I don't even think they know why they're mad at each other.
That's a great point. I totally agree.
I don't even think they know why they're mad at each other that's why I said I was looking for, this thing on my phone in the archives of the stories. Right. And so, cause I wanted to repost it. And so I saw one that I posted and I said, respect me as I respect you for wherever it is that you stand. And I just remember I posted that and I remember getting so many things back. Yeah, but blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? How could you be for women, but you're against how can you be for women and stand against abortion? I'm like, did I ever say that? Mm-hmm. Did I ever just tell you like that those were, you just assume because you see what I'm saying? Just because you vote a certain way doesn't mean you agree with everything that they do. No. They talk about on that side. And I think that's the problem with a lot of people. The whole thing too, going back to this, when Kanye they were talking about, they were saying how it was the red hat. Why do you have to wear the red hat? You know what I'm saying? Who made that red hat? Why was it such a bad thing? What's wrong with, think about it. Think about how the media just
It was the
effed
media,
us.
yes, exactly.
Think about how we allowed the media to do this. And I'm guilty, Rob. Pete and I were at a burger joint and we saw a lady wearing a MAGA hat.
I know.
And we both said, how dare she wear that shit out here? Look at her. I vividly remember, look, I'm getting goosebumps. I vividly remember that conversation. But think about it. What is wrong with the phrase, make America great again?
Well, you can't let that white guy tell you, though.
Not exactly. Can you believe that's when I thought about that when we had that conversation, like, do you remember we were at the burger joint and we were both like, oh my God, look at her with her MAGA hat, how dare she? And we were all like, she's probably part of the KKK. You know what I'm saying? Like, just like, I just really can't believe that I was thinking that way. There's absolutely nothing wrong with wanting to make America great. It's the country that we live in.
Everyone's trying to come here.
And it's like Marissa says, it's got its flaws. We have our issues, but you know what? It's still one of the greatest countries in the world. It is the greatest country. It is the greatest country in the world right now.
It's a little rocky, but it's rocky because of what's going on within, right? A lot of this, and it's like we give the media so much credit for this, but it's true. They have such an impact on how you see things. Like if you were to watch, that guy, one of the guys that got shot in the Kyle Rittenhouse case was on, the stand, and he admitted to this and admitted to that, and then goes on the Today Show or whatever it was with Michael Strahan and someone else, and just says the opposite. And Michael Strahan even says, like, well, here you can say whatever you want, don't feel like you have to hold back, say whatever you want. So that just gives him free reign to just lie. And if you're only watching the Today Show or whatever morning show, and you're not watching the trial, you're not watching anything else, you're only keeping up with that and what's going on Twitter, there's no way you're going to believe the facts because you never went out of your way to go see the facts.
So for me, I feel like I get why you were there, but you didn't have no business there. Does that make sense? Like, I get why you were there, but did you have to come? And you know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of how I feel. But bro, it was self-defense.
Oh yeah.
They had a gun. Why hasn't no one made that a headline? They were pointing the gun at dude, like,
yeah, and he tried to grab his gun. He had burn marks on his hand from trying to grab the barrel of the gun. And as before you walked in, Marisol was pumping. She was like pumping Jibby right there. I was like, hey, no rush, because I was watching today's closing statements. The prosecutor, and this is another thing too. Maybe this is kind of getting to that. You never want to find yourself in a situation where you're on trial like that, because although, and I actually have jury duty soon, but due process is one of the most important pieces of our fabric of the United States, right? But when you have mobs of people that are threatening the judges or doxing the jury, things could just go awry real fast, right? So this prosecutor for Wisconsin is straight up lying on live TV, lying to the jury because they have no case. So if you only watch those clips and snippets, you're going to believe that prosecutor. Mm-hmm. Dude, that prosecutor could be going against you, could be going against me for something that is not true. And it's like, fuck, man, it's so scary.
I was thinking about that the other day. I'm telling you, Rob, this worry thing.
What?
Like this worrying thing. It's got to stop. I have to stop it.
You're a worrywart.
Yeah, I become.
Yeah.
Since having children.
Yep.
Bitch, I didn't give a damn before. It was like, I'm living my best motherfucking life. I do not give a care. Exactly. I was like, I don't care who's president, to be honest with you. I got a job. I'm paying my bills are paid. Shit. I got plans this weekend. Yeah, life is great.
I'm gonna take a vacation.
Yeah. Where's my next vacation? Exactly. But now with kids, I worry. I worry for them. This metaverse crap. Like, you know what I'm saying? I want you to be human. Like, I don't want you to go, if it's going to be a video game type thing for you, fine, right? Because we played video games, right? But I mean, it's a scary thought if you really think about it. I mean, I really didn't want to come on here today to talk about all this crap, but you know what I'm saying? It's just like, it's life and it's happening. You know what I'm saying? It legit is happening right now. Like that metaverse crap. Like, I mean, even before when you guys would talk about stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? Like,
if I just mention the singularity,
I was like, no.
Would start to sweat.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't want to talk about this, Rob. Like when y'all would have the podcast, I'd be like, do we have to talk about this today, guys? Like, really? Like, why does this have player one?
Yeah.
I was like, nope, I don't want to talk about this. Like, I don't. I know that's the direction we're going, and it's scary for me. And it's scary for me because I feel like my kid's not going to know what holding hands with someone you love, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to hold hands in this universe, in this fake world,
virtual world,
that doesn't really exist. And you're just going to be in your room. Lord knows what you're going to look like. You know what I'm saying? Just what? You're just going to sit in there, eat potato chips all day? Like,
dude.
No, I just can't.
Did you by chance see Joe Rogan's post recently about all this? Here, maybe you can actually read it. It was, which one was it? He may have erased it actually. Damn. But it was about the metaverse and it was about all these things going on, right? And he made this point, was really interesting, where this might be just a natural evolution of like where humans go. Right? And the aliens that we've seen in movies, like the big heads and the tiny bodies and all that, might just be what humans end up evolving into when you're just in the virtual world. Yeah. You're not moving, not doing anything.
For sure.
Yeah.
I can see that. And it's funny because Pete's joke is so true. I mean, wives, be prepared to watch your husband sit in this world, fake world, getting a lap dance, you know what I'm saying? Having sex with other women, you know what I'm saying? What? It's not real.
It's going to be awesome.
It's fake. So what are you mad about? I'm not physically doing it. It's in the metaverse, right. So, and vice versa. I feel like there's going to be more divorces because of this. You know what I'm saying?
Do you watch Black Mirror?
I have.
There's an episode, isn't there, where the husband goes into the virtual world.
And he ends up being gay.
Yeah.
Yes. And let me tell you something. When I told Pete some of those episodes, I have to stop watching. Sometimes I'm like, I want to know why you knew to make these episodes. How did you know this was going to start happening?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true, because a lot of what was going to come out for the next season of, and I think we talked about this, but they postponed a lot of the stuff because it was a lot of like stuff that had already happened before the show even came out.
How did you know?
Dude,
see,
we're not high enough for this conversation.
Exactly, the fact that those episodes, guys, if you have not watched any of those Black Mirror episodes,
they're great.
Get ready to be like, holy shit, we are in a simulation, because this was already predicted in these episodes, and it's happening. It's been happening, and so that whole virtual world thing, it's crazy because they meet up to see if they really have feelings for each other.
Yeah.
Like, are you really, like, you're really trying to figure out if you're gay because you're a girl in this in this world and you're a boy in this simulation. I mean, in this universe that they're in this game. And now but it's two guys that are running each monito.
There's this really weird conspiracy, and I'm going to throw this to the ladies. I know it's way out of left field, but there's this, let me just sum it up really simply. Like, there's these scientists that are working on, like, black matter and trying to split atoms and trying to do all this crazy, astrophysics kind of sciencey things, right? And recently, something happened in this big machine, and the conspiracy theory is that little explosion that happened in this lab created an alternate universe that we're living in now. That's trippy, right? And then you start going down the rabbit hole of like, okay, what is CERN doing in the Large Hadron Collider and dark matter, and did it cause a ripple, in the universe and the space-time continuum? But it's real stuff. This isn't out of a movie or comic book. Like, this legit happened. Like, did it open a black hole to an alternate universe that now we're living in? I'm just saying.
You see, bro, like, my brain can't take that. And it's recently that I realized what my mom would say, you think this world is pretty and pink. Like, that's not how the world works.
Facts.
I've just recently realized that I did live in my own bubble. Like, because I don't like drama. I don't like problems. Like, I don't create problems. There's just some females who like to create problems for themselves. Like, or they just like drama.
Yeah.
Like, their life doesn't function if there's not some sort of drama in their life. Like, I can't. That's why I've always said, like, I don't feel like I'm always that great of a friend, because when you tell your problem to me and I feel like I've given you a solution for the problem, and then you call me again and it's the same problem, but I've given you like multiple ways to solve that problem, and you're still sitting there talking about it, I have an issue. You like that.
They thrive
you just
in
like
that.
it. Yes.
Yeah.
And I can't. I'm not somebody that likes that. If I call you and you're trying to give me a solution, I will probably call 3 different people, and I'll take a little bit from each one, and then I'll make my solution for whatever my issue is that I'm having. Yeah. Because I feel like I'm telling you my issue because I need a solution. I can't figure it out on my own. But I'm not, if I can't move past the solution, I'm the problem here. You know what I'm saying?
You talking about being in your own bubble, and you just came to that conclusion is it's kind of a testament to like what's happened since Trump became president. Like, prior to 2016, when you think about social media and you think about all these things, it was almost like it was contained in this bubble where if you were in that world, you knew about it. And if you weren't, it wasn't a national issue. But ever since 2016, it all became such a national issue with Trump. The fact checking, the censorship, all these things started to happen when he became president. So even if you were in your own bubble that didn't know about it, now you can't escape it. Twitter, all social media, all TV shows, movies, Hollywood, everything. It became a sweeping national issue. So now everybody, it's in your face all the time.
So here's another example. We went to the mall yesterday. I went and got Sunny's ears pierced. By the way, she's a G. She didn't cry, bro.
Good for her.
Hard like a G. She was more pissed at the fact that Pete was holding her head so she wouldn't turn.
Oh, that's funny.
That's what she was mad about, not about this little thing in her ear. Yeah.
In her ear.
Meanwhile, Penny, when she got it done, it sounded like somebody was abusing her, like physically abusing her. She was screaming her brains out. Like, it was like, oh my God. And she was, well, no, they're 3 months. I got them done both.
Oh, right.
At 3 months, I wait. And my mom says, what's the 3-month mark? And I was like, well, when I was calling around to get their ears pierced, they had to be at 3 months because they have to have their shots. A lot of people won't take them. My mom's like, we did yours at a week old, and it was done with the needle.
Damn.
What kind of freaking torture was that, man?
No wonder you're such a G.
No shit.
Cold-blooded.
I was like, yeah, you stick a needle, Mom? You let someone just stick a needle? Or this lady stick a needle?
With a potato behind it?
Oh, my God. Anyway, we were talking about that because we passed a movie theater. And I was like, I've not heard of any of these movies.
Right?
None. When did they come out? I had no idea. Why? Because I own HBO Max.
Yep.
And HBO Max now streams also the movies that are in the movie theater.
Yeah.
For example, Halloween, the new Halloween.
Yeah, whatever
right?
it was.
Whatever it was. On the poster, it said in theaters and streaming HBO Max.
Yeah.
I said, that's the world we're going to get into.
Oh, yeah.
So movie theaters will be obsolete. Like, they're gone. They're going to be gone soon. So if you were in the movie theater business, your business is about to go kaput. Like,
it's like Blockbuster.
Like, yeah, you're about to be out of here because. And then Mickey was like, I loved going to the movies. Same. It was like, I couldn't wait. Like, I take a blanket. I couldn't wait to get all the snacks there. Like, all right. And me and my Aunt Lily, we were like, oh my God. We would go to the movies so much. You have no idea. And I always have a big bag. We'd buy food, like whatever it was. Like,
yeah, I remember sneaking shit in.
Yes.
Taco Bell and shit.
Exactly. Ours was either Jack in the Box.
Jack in the Box, sorry, the tacos. Yes.
Yes. And then we'd go in there and then we'd be eating it up, watching a movie.
Dude, our kids aren't going to know any of this shit.
But now, what we were sneaking in to do in there, we can now do it from our home.
Yes.
Because
which I prefer, honestly.
I know Mickey said that. She's like, I love to go to the movie. She goes, but I'm not going to lie. She's like, it's so nice to just watch it from the comfort of your own home. And it is. I get it. Yeah. Right. But it was also fun to say, hey, I want to go to the movies tonight.
Yeah.
Right.
It was more so because you know you're going to be up to something mischievous too that night. Let's be real.
You know, well, I'm saying just with family. Like for us, it was like, I'm telling you, like, us, it was a family thing. Like my Aunt Lily, it would be all of us and we'd all go to the movie theater together. It'd be fun.
When you break it down, though, it makes sense that it's just like for like a 2021, or let's just say in the future, like 10 years from now, in a 2030 audience of kids, it's going to be like, I don't want to go to that theater with like strangers and people farting everywhere and coughing. You don't know who they are. I'm just, by that point, if you're fortunate enough to have a nice TV and audio, make your popcorn, you're in your snuggies or whatever, and you're just enjoying it from the comfort of your home. Like that makes
If anybody wants to buy me something for Christmas, I saw this huge Christmas hoodie. It's almost like a poncho.
Okay.
They have them at one of those like Typo, I think it's the name of those stores.
Oh, in the mall?
In the mall.
It's got all the stationary stuff. I love that place.
Me too, because I love stationery. Yeah. But they had these big old hoodies, and I'm like, ooh. I looked at it, I was like, I just want to cuddle in that big old hoodie and put on some socks and watch TV. And then I was like, oh yeah, but you have a baby and a toddler, not happening.
God, what a dark thought. You're like, my life's ruined for like the next 18 years.
No, as soon as they get older, I think as soon as Sunny gets Penny's age, I'm good.
Yeah.
Because Penny's independent. I'm telling you, that girl's a G. She's got so much energy. Listen, Sunday, oh my God.
Wait, before you get to Sunday, I was over here the other day and she was playing with glitter and stuff, and she had her little dust mop and the real broom, not even a little broom, a regular broom. She's got it wrapped around under her pit, and she's sweeping it all up and throwing it away and sweeping it all up and throwing it all away, make sure it's all clean, and then she puts up the fucking broom and stuff, and she's like, okay, go back to playing.
Yeah.
Such a good kid.
No, I know, she is. She's just got a lot of energy.
Tons.
And I think we're done at the end of the day, and she just doesn't stop.
She's just getting started.
Yeah. I introduced Calm to her last night, guys, because...
The meditation app?
Yes, because, like I've said, I can't seem to get Penny back on schedule.
Did you get that clock by chance?
I have not. I can't seem to get her back on schedule. Penny is staying up until 11 o'clock with us, you know what I'm saying? Because, she's basically now on Sunny's schedule versus Penny being on her schedule. The tour is over as of Thursday, and there's no more playing. I told Pete, no more playing. I said, either you're on it with me, or peace out, bro. Like, don't be involved.
What does that even mean?
Like, go do something while I handle like bedtime. Yes,
routine.
Because
bedtime routine.
Yes, because
okay.
I have to get it in order for me to be sane again. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just have to. But here's the thing: Sunny is fine. It's just her schedule. You see what I'm saying? Sunday, I don't ever put an alarm because Sunny is my alarm. Mm-hmm. I don't need to. She gets up at 6:47 every day for her feed. She sleeps, and then she's up by 8. So I'm up by 8, right? Which for most, it's like, holy shit, that's late, right?
Yeah.
Sunday, I was like, okay, we're going to church Sunday, right? This girl woke up at 11:05. I woke up scared. Like,
Panics, like, where am I?
What time is it? Yeah. Yes. I'm like checking her, like putting my fingers underneath her nose, making sure she's still breathing. I woke her up.
Wow.
11 o'clock. She got up for her feed at 6:47. I said, man, I must have had a lot of milk. She must have just been full because she was out.
That's awesome.
And I was like, we woke up. I was like, well, I feel like I've rested for a lot, but then I had a headache for the rest of the day because, I slept till 11 o'clock, which I never do. And poor Penny was, guess what? Fending for herself.
Nice. Made some eggs and waffles.
She got her yogurt, came and got the tablet, laid on the bed with us. I'm saying, can you please, I said, can you just sleep on the bed? She had a nightmare, so she came in the bed with us, and I asked her what it was, and she said phantasmas. So I was like, I don't want to discuss that. Just get in the bed because phantasma scares me. So I don't want to talk about what you saw or what the hell
why you saw it.
Yeah, but just get in the bed. And so she jumped in, and she was like patient. She didn't wake me up. I said, oh, she's in the bed. She's about to wake. One of them's going to get me out of bed. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Whether it's Sunny or Penny. So one of them, but Penny too, she was like, I don't know if it was just because my room is super dark. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if that's what just kept her under the blanket with her, with her iPad. I have no idea. That's another thing. I've been letting her have the iPad a lot more to help me out while I situate with Sunny. Do you see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And if you're wondering, well, where's your husband? He's there. He's helping, but he's helping like set up stuff. Like he gets the water ready for the bath and all that. It's like neither one of the girls like want him for bedtime. And that's what makes it hard. So I was like telling him, we need to make it to where you make it, this is my dad time with you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, instead of me, so Penny's usually what I've had to start doing with Penny is we read 2 books, right? And then she gets 30 minutes of the iPad. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So we start at 8, Rob, and she doesn't go to bed till 11. Why that's what I'm telling you. It's taken that long for her to like get to bed. And she's got so much energy. And I know it's because, but I feel like we're not doing anything to wind her down either. So I told him, I said, we're going to have to start like, it's the 2 books. Literally, I'm going to put an alarm. When the alarm goes off, you're off. And sometimes whenever I put this alarm for her to watch the iPad, I'm still busy with Sunny to where it's like, just let her stay on the iPad. I'll be over there when I'm done. Type of thing. Yeah. And that turns into 10:30.
You should start, just a suggestion, you should start with the iPad first and then read the books. Like, because that blue light, that's why blue light blockers and the blue light blocker that's on the phone, that's why you're supposed to turn it on after 7, because that blue light from our screens projects into our eyes and causes more of a, like, I think it raises cortisol and it gets the energy, it keeps the energy high. Versus when you turn it on, if you notice, do you ever turn yours on your phone?
Mine goes off at 10:30. At 10.
It turns on at 10 p.m.?
Yes.
Oh, if you start turning it on earlier than that, you'll immediately, just as soon as you turn it on, you'll see like your eyes get...
Well, my phone also locks at that time.
Oh, you don't use it after that?
It locks and does. I have the whole thing where it goes into bedtime mode.
Oh.
So if the only... I'm trying to stay off my phone, yeah. Okay. If I'm on it, it's because I'm breastfeeding and... She's just not wanting to go to sleep. Yeah. And I'm just laying there in the dark. Like, what am I going to do? And then you just put a code. It'll tell you like that you're interrupting your sleep time and blah, blah, blah. And so I do that. I really am trying to be more conscious about my phone. If you've even noticed, I've not been posting like I used to post on.
Dude, Dawn said that the other day. She's like, well, my soul's pretty quiet this weekend. Yeah. I was like, well, we're out of town. Yeah. And then y'all got home and you're busy.
I've just really... I think social media is becoming way more crazier every day. I do have a photo shoot scheduled for I almost seriously told Pete the other day, I know that I have to keep up with my personal social media in order, it's sad, right? In order to push my merch. But I almost want to make my merch account popping so much to where I don't need to keep a personal social media account anymore, because I don't know. I just really feel like we're in a fucked up world, Rob. And people don't get it. I think people just think like, man, she exaggerates. No. Maybe it's my glasses that I'm looking out through, but I just like...
Well, it's super circumstantial, right? Like people that might say that, well, what's your circumstance? Do you have kids? Are you married? Do you have your own business? Are you self-employed? Like what are you doing to think that it's like, it's not that big of a deal? Did your industry not get hurt by this lockdown? Like what is your circumstance, right? It's all circumstantial. So for you or us, you pay a lot more attention to it because there's a lot of things that could fall through the cracks as this thing continues to divide and starts to get wilder and crazier. But that's a good reason and a good point to have an audience, right? So you're building an audience on social media. You're taking them over from just on Instagram, for instance, to the podcast, to the Patreon, to the private Facebook page, because then as that community grows, it helps sprout up, more fans and invite people to the show, and then it starts cultivating its own audience within these private, premium subscriptions or whatever, so that your brand and your clothes, everything gets promoted by the people that are the hardcores, the 1,000 true fans that we always talk about. And you don't have to spend all that time trying to like coerce other people from Instagram or Twitter or Facebook to come over and like, hey, try this out. If they already are about it, they're going to tell other people that are going to be about it.
So I just feel like I need to find a happy medium. So I'm going to get back on my social media game again. I've been talking to Ilse again, going back and forth. I've kind of like really not fell off, but I think I needed that break. I just kind of was posting here and there. I just kind of just been like, I've been real quiet even on my business account, on my apparel, because I am going to have like a huge sale on the website to get rid of like any old stuff that's on there. And then that way the new items that are going to continue to come in, that's all that's going to stay up there. There were so many things that were sold out on my website. I swear to you, look, my website looked ratchet, like which is a good problem. I'm not complaining about my apparel, right? That it's sold out, but you guys sold it out. So thank you for that. But it's been like, I've been on the road. I can't keep up with it. You know what I'm saying? As far as like production, like I need more stuff cranked out. That's why the other day I said, I'm out of here. Like you and Pete were podcasting. I spent the entire day getting all my stuff that I needed. That's how I got the zip up jackets. Like I got the units. I'm excited about the units, to be honest with you, just because they're cute lounging / going out to do stuff with, where you can like make it cute. You know what I'm saying?
Plus the weather's about to get so perfect for that kind of stuff.
I can't wait.
I love it.
So I'm excited for those things, and I think that you guys will be excited for it too. The Tough & Co. Design that a lot of you guys were asking about a long time ago, and that was one of my first designs that I dropped. One of my first designs that I dropped that was like a bigger
Tiffany
collection. So that's the last time I've restocked it.
Damn, it was like 2 years ago.
I know. Almost 3, because Penny was barely going to be a year old. No, so 2 years. Yeah, Penny was a year old.
Yeah, she's in that picture. She looks like a tiny little Asian baby in that photo shoot.
And so I'm bringing that back. But you know what's crazy? I always wanted pants for that unit.
Same colors?
Same color. I could never find pants that color. And so joggers. So my graphic designer at the time said, well, what if we went with black joggers, since the font is black, right? And I was like, I don't see that together, but I see it as one. And I finally found it. Right now, when there's a shortage of everything, what are the chances? I'm going to bring back the Échale Ganas, right? Just because I feel like we're in an Échale Ganas type of freaking world. If there was ever a time, yes. Yeah. And Échale Ganas really right now for everybody. Whatever it is that you're doing, guys, because it's, like Dawn was telling me about her job, you know what I'm saying? What they're asking for them to do, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I think a lot of people are going through that, where they're having to pick the jab or keep my job. You know what I'm saying? And that's so effed up to me. Like, I can't believe that. We were talking about this. I'm so glad I'm self-employed.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so glad that I already was self-employed 9 years before I met my husband. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that I was continuing, now for another 7 years that we've been together, that we're still self-employed, you know, I'm so glad that I don't have to answer to that. I'm glad I don't have to make a choice between the jab or my job. You know what I'm saying? Because that's hard. It's either you're going to feed your family or what are you going to do? You know what I'm saying? And that's effed up that you have to be in that situation. So of all the designs that I was trying to bring back, I was like, Yo soy Latina, that's dope. You know what I'm saying? Really, to be honest with you, I really like all my designs. Like, I really do. I'm not trying to be like, and that's the thing that I've never talked about, what any of those things like have meant. Yeah, like, I've never represent, like, if you go back, which I've deleted a lot of them, so don't go to my website right now because they've all been deleted. Whatever was sold out. But if you go back and you look at anything that I've made, so 100% that mujer, right? I love that. I couldn't wait to do that. Now, let me tell you why I used mujer instead of the B word, right? Because people use 100% that bitch, right? Yeah. I didn't want to have a shirt that had bitch on it. Can you wear that to your child's school? No. You can't walk in their parent pickup line and wear a shirt that says 100% that bitch. You know what I'm saying? And also, do you want to be called a bitch? Damn, you know?
Some girls love it.
I know, but it was like, I don't want that. I don't want to. And I know I say, they're probably like, girl, you cuss all. I know that's not what I mean. Cussing, me speaking has something to do with like what I'm printing. You know what I'm saying? So like, I want it for you to feel like I'm 100% that mujer. When you put it on, put on your shirt, it's almost like your Superman shirt. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm 100% that girl. I'm going to make shit happen and watch out.
What if you made the I like an exclamation point and the T like a cross? So you're like sassy, but also like, you know, save me like Jesus.
No, whoa, my God, Rob, you took it somewhere else now. So yeah, so that it, like I have this other shirt that I had designed a long time ago. So Beyonce in one of her songs, this last album that she brought out, which I guess was like the Lion King. I don't even know what that album was. It was so random. But I dig it, and on there it says, "I am a whole mood." Right?
Okay, I like that phrase.
I love that phrase. So I have a shirt that's designed that says, "I am a whole mood." I have so many designs,
like
guys,
that
have never been like I've never dropped because I'm still like in my brain. I'm thinking like what it needs to be printed on. My designer at the time went with the Lisa Frank. If you don't remember, do you remember Lisa Frank stuff? Like it's that little familiar. Like it's like little 80s stationery stuff.
Okay.
It was like folders and all that.
Oh, so yes, the super colorful stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this thing says, "I am a whole mood," and it's a cat, right?
Yeah.
It's a cat, and it's got a dog tag, like a little name tag, and it's got the H like for her apparel. Mm-hmm. It's super cute, but I'm trying to think of like what it needs to be printed on, you know? And crazy thing, one of the comics that we use sometimes, Israel, he goes, "Oh my God," he's like, "I never realized that I love the way the font of the HERR apparel." And I was like, "Oh, thanks." He goes, "It's like, I love that you put the cat's tail on there, like female." And I was like, "What? Female?" I was like, "A cat?" I was like, "What are you talking about?" Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like looking at what?
Now I'm trying to look for the logo. Oh, I see it behind you on the bag. Oh, okay. I can see that on the H down.
So he thought I did this.
Uh-huh.
Like as a cat tail for like a cat, you know, like a female cat, like I'm sexy, like purring, you know, like her type thing.
Yeah.
You get it?
I
never even thought about that.
No.
So I was like, what? So when I told my graphics designer, like, "Hey, isn't this weird?" And so that's where the cat and the Lisa Frank thing, you know, kind of came about. So I think I do a poor job. I think I just take pictures, right? And I do a poor job of, if you heard the story of like how everything was thought out, right? I'm saying, like, I think you'd feel more of the shirts, right? Like, for example, all the Échale Ganas, number one Chingona, these were parodies, and the YSL parody, right? Which were these are high end brands, right? But I thought it'd be like whenever he suggested that we do like a parody of it, I was like, that's great. We couldn't come up with a third one, and then I don't know. Oh, I think I was like online shopping for something, and I saw a YSL bag, and I was like, "Yo soy Latina." And I texted them. I found the third one. I was like, "It's YSL." I'm like, "Yo soy Latina." Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because we were in such a Latin X type thing, and I was like, I'm not going to be that fucking X. You know what I'm saying? So that's where the YSL came about.
Okay.
Because I was like, no, yo soy Latina, like not Latina X or however you pronounce that. Okay, Latinx. So I was like, so I want that, you know? And the Échale Ganas is just the same thing. I just kind of felt like, you know, Échale Ganas.
Yeah.
Like, Échale Ganas, like even when you're feeling at your shittiest, like just put that bitch on and just think about it. Like, it's almost like that's my goal with whenever I make designs. It's like there's a reason behind it. The mom gang thing that I just dropped, I think that we're in a world where we need to support each other a whole lot more versus criticizing the way you parent. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm guilty. I'm not going to say that I've not seen someone be like, look at her. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to say I haven't.
I think what your apparel and what you do and stuff too has could have such a bigger impact on just, you know, especially the last one you mentioned was Yo Soy Latina. in Texas, I mean, the Hispanic population is already, it's so big as of the 2020 census. So I think the projection for 2030 is they've been saying this for a long time that the Latinos will be the biggest
majority,
the majority demographic here in Texas. It's not far off already as it is. So within the next 10 years, expect it to be the majority in Texas. The stuff that you're doing, it's cultural. It helps, move the conversation in a certain direction. It could be either you move it in the direction of who's the lady that we always reference,
Joanne Gaines.
No, I'm sorry. The Latina, we always say George Lopez and Eva Longoria, those kind of people, right? You either push the conversation in that direction, whether you hate to say it, it's political, but it's cultural as well, or you push it in the Yo soy Latina and then for XYZ reasons, which is a lot of stuff that we talk about on here, the open-mindedness, all the positive shit. So I think that's really cool. I don't think your apparel ever has that intention, but it could, depending on who reads it and who's buying it at the time.
Yeah, just the same thing. Like everybody has like the Chingona shirts, but I really wanted to make it different. So that's where the Chanel parody of the Chanel parody, where it was N01, like the way Chanel their perfume is. That's where the number one Chingona parody came from too, because that's, and then it says the new one, bro, is
I don't remember that one.
It's the Chanel CCs that go like this. This is the one that's dropping y'all on Black Friday, so be ready. Sneak peek. Says number one. It says the Chingona, but then it says Del Mundo, right? Because I think Chanel has the world or something like that, like number one in the world, something like that. So we did the parody, and I can't wait for that one. That one's gonna be pretty dope. But yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at right now. I kind of feel like we need to like just keep moving forward. Be alert, like be aware of what's happening in the world, because it's so important that you're up to date. And like I said, whatever way that it is that you side with, what I'm saying, be aware of it, and see if you really 100% agree. And if you're a young person listening to this, if you're not someone who's got kids, you're just a single person, you're like, I'm not worried about it, I don't blame you, because I was you a long time ago, and I really didn't care. Like I never cared. I knew that I voted blue, and that's who I needed to vote for, and it is what it is, because at that time I didn't have nothing that mattered to me. My bills were paid, I was doing what I wanted to do, I paid taxes, so I'm normal. Like I just felt like there was nothing for me to. Also, we didn't have all these issues happening probably back then either, to where I needed to really sit there and think about who I was going to vote for, which probably would have been still a good thing for me to do. But
sure, and you got to think, everybody, no matter what side of the aisle you're on, we all want the same stuff.
Yeah,
we all want a good community. You want safe environments. You want to provide for your family. You want to have a good, everything that we want is the same thing that person on the other side of the aisle wants. It's just coming to the conclusion of who is supposed to offer you that experience in a better, more efficient way. Is it this or that? And if you vote for one or the other, and then you start seeing that like time and time again, it's not what it was supposed to be, you have to just come to that conclusion and admit that, man, maybe I'm a little off on this one.
And I really think that we need to get a lot of these old politicians
for sure
out of office,
all seats and chairs in office,
like y'all need to get out, whether it's Democrat or Republican, both sides.
But then you got your girl Lena in there, the young ones that are just
fuck that girl. I'm sorry,
really bad ideas.
I already know who I'm voting, who's I'm voting against her.
Holla.
Like I'm not doing it. I'm not having her, and she kind of makes me mad. Like, listen, you can be like, what's her name, Tulsi Gabbard, and be on that side, but still tell the truth.
Yeah.
Ma'am, you are not telling our people the truth.
Facts.
And that's the kind of shit that makes me mad, because you can be on the left side.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can be in the middle, but don't try to like, and man, Kanye said it so, man, Kanye.
Way to bring it full circle, Marisol. What did Kanye say?
Y'all are getting paid by these motherfuckers. Like, y'all are so willing. Whatever they tell you to do, you do it. You John Legends. I was like,
oh yeah, he called him out by name too, huh?
Yeah. He's calling people that, like, he called John Legend out, but like, you John Legends, like y'all are just like, whatever they tell you to do, you're doing it. He's like, and I get it. I guess you're not in a position where, you want to go against the grain because, you want your paper. He gets it, right? And it's true, because then I was watching that Joe Budden guy, and he was talking about, it's like, when you get to a point where you have all this money, you can voice and say what the fuck you want to say.
Yeah.
Because you have all the money. You don't need anything else. When you're building, I'm telling you, when he said, I'm going to build a community where in the middle, we're going to grow our crops and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I want to move there. Where and when do I go there? Because I feel like I've become so dependent on the world where I couldn't make anything. I mean, what am I going to make? Rice and beans?
Well, you can make the leather. You can like make the upholstery for the things that you sit on.
Okay, well, maybe that's about all I know how to do is
you have plenty of skills.
But it's kind of like, as far as like, I don't know how to hunt. Do you know how to hunt?
No.
Exactly. I don't know how to kill an animal to where it's like, if you don't kill it the right way, now it's like ruined. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to do that. And I really don't want to kill the animal, really, to be honest with you.
Well, in the community, in the tribe, everyone's going to have their role, right? You're not expected necessarily to do it all.
Now, let me tell you something about that. So when I was pregnant the first time around, I read a lot of books, right, about midwifery and, women who have home births and so forth. Gosh, I can't remember her name's Ida something, but she's got a bunch of midwifery books. And back in the days, in the 70s, they rolled together they lived in their own community, bro. And everybody had a house in this community. They all helped each other. They helped each other raise their kids. It's almost a little bit like the polygamy families. How
about the Amish? Maybe it's a better example.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. But they all helped each other. It was like, so we knew that so-and-so and so-and-so's husbands went to work. So that means the husbands that lived on the land and didn't work, they did some other kind of self-employed. You're responsible for whatever these women also may need that's some kind of manly. Maybe it's picking up something, whatever it is. I'm just giving you a dumb example, but maybe it's like moving something heavy from one place to the other. But they all helped each other and they all moved and traveled together until they found this one spot where they stayed together and they made their community and they thought that they were the weirdos. But yet a lot of people would come have their babies there on their land and then they'd go home, you know what I'm saying, to their regular place if it was whatever it was. But it's crazy because Kanye kind of talks about that. And that's the sad thing is that they don't want us to be united because we'd be so powerful.
Yeah, we the people.
Oh my God, we'd be.
You know what wasn't talked about a lot during this whole COVID thing was the Amish. The reason I brought up the Amish because I had watched this thing. I'm actually probably going to play it tomorrow on the podcast for Chingo, where their approach to COVID and the lockdowns and all that, they were like, we're not locking shit down. It's a really interesting. I'll try to find the video because the Amish live in a way where, we all make fun of them because they still have carriages and they don't use a lot of electricity and, all they do is plant their stuff and it's all almost like a homesteader. But it's like they beat COVID in their community of a lot of people in like a matter of weeks through like herd immunity and shit like that. But it went completely unreported because it's not in the best interest. I'll leave it with this before we move into Patreon. Y'all used to listen to The Daily a lot, right? Mm-hmm. So Fauci was on The Daily on Friday's episode. So if you guys want to go back, I highly recommend it. I posted this on the What Did He Said page and the stories just so y'all can get an insight on how this guy thinks and how the reporter for The Daily on the Daily podcast, which is the New York Times podcast, how he framed all the questions, how he was just lobbing up these questions and had almost no rebuttal for the things he was saying, just kind of, yeah, totally makes sense. And then you listen to other independent journalists that talk about the stuff or even doctors. There's actually a good example of somebody here in Sugar Land that just recently got their credentials taken away because they tweeted out something that Michael Berry did. He had a doctor on his show, and I'm gonna look her up a little bit and see if we can maybe get her on the podcast. But it's not always as black and white as it seems. If you hear somebody on TV or New York Times or whatever say something, it's not always just that. There's a lot of context missing. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that's why I said. It's just really time to really think about your family, like just your little household. Think about your family. And if shit hit the fan tomorrow, are you prepared to like legit be able to make it happen? Like I've been watching videos on how to make fire on YouTube, bro. Nice. Like how to make fire, like how to do all kind of stuff just because
we're all going to gift each other like preparedness packs for Christmas this year.
Like, I mean, it's like, do you have enough ammo? You know, listen, guys, I never forget when I was in the hospital. I think I told the story, right? About the lady that shut the door.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the fact that she said we're about to have another civil war. I mean, we're talking about an older lady. She's like, I have not seen this, and da da da. Yeah. And she's like, you got a gun? I'm like, a gun. And she's like, well, you need to get you some guns. And she's like, because, and then she just starts going.
Keeping it real.
I swear, I felt like it was fake because she's closed the door on, and then she's like talking to me, and I'm just like, is she about to kill me? Like, because I can't move. So I'm like, if she is, I'm just going to let her kill me because this cut right here hurts way more than anything. At this point, just end my misery, please. You know? And so it was kind of like, oh my God, I was tripping out. But the fact this random lady, and she said, and I went on ahead and got the vaccine because they're going to start requiring them here pretty soon. They haven't done it yet, but I'm sure they will. And it was almost like she predicted it because now this whole thing where you have to have it. And again, I don't have anything against people who have gotten it. Mm-hmm. Good for you. If that makes you feel safe, then you should be able to do what you want to do.
Yeah, if you chose it on your own.
Yes. Like, but it shouldn't be forced on anybody. You know what I'm saying? I'm terrified that they're trying to force this thing on children on top of that.
Yeah.
Y'all don't even know what it's going to do to their growth, to their, you know what I'm saying, to the little girls. Like, is this going to make them like, you know what I'm saying? Are they going to not be able to have kids in the future? What are you doing?
Yeah, there's more and more of this.
What are you doing?
Pausing because of the heart growth and issues.
Yeah, and then the fact that now all of a sudden it's not safe for pregnant women to take it. But a couple of months ago, I was just pregnant not too long ago, and my doctor was totally trying to force this damn vaccine on me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I was like, bro, I'm not about to be a part of your damn experiment. Go find you somebody else who's willing to be a part of that.
And they did. They find plenty of them.
Exactly. You know, and it's because they believe their doctors. And that's all fine and dandy. Good for you, right? But now they're saying that it causes,
myocarditis.
And what do you call it? Miscarriages.
Oh, that too, yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? It's like, that's my reasoning for this vaccine rush. It's like, I'm not anti-vax. I just need you to do this shit a little bit longer.
Yeah.
And be honest about it. And then I saw this thing. It almost felt like it was a joke where it was like brought to you by Pfizer. Brought to you by Pfizer.
Yeah.
This it's brought to you by Pfizer.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if you know the way sponsorships work, if you know the way ads work,
it's a lot of money. It's a lot of follow the money.
Pfizer is paying mad money.
And keep an eye on
money
on these OSHA rulings that are going on, and everybody that works for these companies. As of Friday, there's a halt on that all the way around Texas. The jobs and the places can't mandate you to do anything. This is supposed to go through in January, but this is just going to get pushed up to the Supreme Court. So that'll be a very interesting case.
I'm so glad we're fighting it because it's not fair to anybody who doesn't want to do this.
Yeah.
And it's the same, and we're going back to the same thing about abortions. You know what I'm saying? People are so against it, but again, it's my body, my choice for everything, mm-hmm. for anything medical. It's almost like if you're told you have cancer and you don't want to do radiation or chemotherapy. Mm-hmm. Whose choice is that not to do that anymore? Like it's yours. They're telling you, they're suggesting it. And that's how I feel it should be. And that might be a little bit of extreme, but I mean, they're telling you like, listen, this could help. But the fact that you've had so many, you have to continue to take all these boosters because you haven't figured out which vaccine works. That's what I have a problem with. And the fact that your damn vaccine has only been out for a year and a half, if at that.
Yeah, that's true. It was supposed to take years, right? To come up with a vaccine. There is one thing that I'll cite that I've been hearing a lot of people talk about. There was a case from 1905 called Jacobson versus Massachusetts where the United States Supreme Court, in this case, upheld the authority of the state to enforce a compulsory vaccination because the court's decision articulated the view that the individual's liberty is not absolute and is subject to the police power of the state. And so that's kind of one of the things that they'll cite. But there's a lot of context within that people are going to dissect because at the time, I want to say that it was totally different, obviously. This was like 1905 would have been pre or like Spanish flu kind of times or whatever it was. But it's different circumstances. So keep that in mind. If you do hear like Jacobson versus Massachusetts and you hear 1905 and the vaccination laws back then, that's the only ruling that or the only standing that they might have to kind of compare it to what's going on now. So that's something to keep an eye on. Like if you hear like, oh, there was a Supreme Court hearing where it was voted that the state can mandate you to do something. It was over 100 fucking years ago, but it could still play a role in this.
Yeah, man. Crazy times. Get right with God. Get right with God. Because it's scary. I'm scared for my kids more than anything. Oh, yeah. I just kind of figured I'm 40 now. I mean,
we got one leg in the grave.
I don't want to die or anything like that, right? But I mean, I want to be able to see my kids, grow up and do all the above, But I'm
grandkids.
I'm afraid for them. I'm afraid for, you know what I'm saying? I'm so glad Penny still likes to go play outside. I'm so glad she asks me all the time, can you take me to the playground? Parque. Like, I'm so glad she still wants to do that, right? And she's not all up in this, I know that that's the future. I get it. Like, I get it. I'm probably, there's not going to be no way out of it, right?
Right.
I know that. I mean, because I let her sit in front of the computer, the one that's in my room that's like this, and she plays educational games, and I get it. But I want her to she's gonna have to do this. It's not there's no way out of it.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So I get it. I get that technology, there's no way out of it. But I would like to have some kind of control over it as a parent versus the world just putting it out there. You know what I'm saying? This TikTok, this other thing. And we're gonna save this for next week, but because we took this trip to Vegas, I had a chance to read on the airplane, right? I never get to really have reading time. I'm still in the same book, by the way. So in case you're wondering, I'm only on chapter 3.
Irreversible damage?
Yeah.
Okay.
So check out this part that I'm on right now. And it's just going to make you just it kind of goes into all this that's happening in this world, right? Where like media makes you feel, is trying to make you see things a certain way, right? Mm-hmm. But one of the things that she kind of talks about, Rob, and she says that if you remember growing up, there was no such things as transgender male or female, right? Mm-hmm. And Marissa's like, are we really going back to... right? You were either gay or lesbian, or you were just like a cross-dresser or a transvestite, right? Like someone who liked that. You see it more now, right? And they talked about how a lot of it has to do with these little girls, a lot of them who are transitioning into boys. It has to do, they're depressed. They've never showed no signs. I'm in the part where there's different stories of little girls who never had shown any signs of, that they wanted to be boys.
Sure.
Right? To the point where now, do you know that? I don't know how true this is, and I really would like to ask if you know anybody who is a lesbian, guys, like no, for real, like a lesbian in a lesbian relationship. Because check this out, the one story that they talked about, it was a lesbian couple, Rob. They adopted a little girl. Okay, or one of them had the little girl. I'm sorry, she was like going to be this like excelling ballerina. Like, you know what I'm saying? She had a lot of like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she pretty much was going to make it, right?
Okay.
Lesbian family, right? She was as prissy and girly girl as you can think of. She was in like an all girl, what do you call it? She started going to an all girl private school after being homeschooled. Okay. And they just kind of felt it was time for her to it's in junior high, elementary school. Okay, we kept her here, now it's time for her to go be social, because it was kind of awkward for her. You know what I'm saying? She joined which I didn't even know they had these in school now. It's the Gay and Straight Alliance Committee. Like it's a school or like a school group. You know how you could join different clubs?
Right.
So now there's one, it's GSA. So it's like a thing now in a lot of high schools. And so they felt like, oh, look at her trying to do something to make us feel like she supports us as a lesbian moms. You know what I'm saying? And so they were like, that's sweet. Well, then she kind of noticed that she started getting really friendly with this one girl. So she was like, okay, whatever. And then all of a sudden, she kind of noticed that she was kind of like always depressed, just kind of being weird. And she had this really big show, right? Where she was going to be like pretty much like she was the I guess the lead in this ballet recital, invites these girls from her school and her teachers, and then the one girl that I guess is like the leader of the pack was like kind of disgusted by her, like, you can't be gay and be a ballerina. You must feel like a boy. How do you feel like a boy if you're this ballerina? So then all of a sudden she started telling her parents, like, hey, I feel like I want to do this hormone treatment to be a boy. She's like, well, wait a minute, like, you've never shown anything, like maybe you're lesbian, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they were feeling like, well, maybe we influenced her to be gay because we're lesbians, you know what I'm saying? And long story short, she like went on it to where like she got to an age to where she went off to college, and she lost her scholarship because she no longer looked like a ballerina, because she was starting to look like a boy. And they tried to adjust to maybe giving her a male role, but she couldn't do the lifting of like the other female, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of the things that a male ballerina would do. She didn't, what do you call it? Qualify, I guess. I don't really know what the word is, but she just wasn't able to do, a lot of the stuff. And so she lost everything, you know what I'm saying? All because she wanted to fit in with these little girls from a long time ago.
Damn.
And she's not either or.
Right.
Like, she realized that she doesn't want to be a boy.
Oof.
And we're in college now, and so these were parents telling her the story. So what this lady was talking about after I read all the stories that she'd told, right, is that a lot of lesbians are being attacked by the transgender community, because if you're a more butch looking lesbian, then you most certainly must want to be a boy. Why are you still wanting to be a female? You need to go ahead and transition into the boy so that you're not the butch female. So it's like they have beef. Transgender males with the lesbian, the more masculine looking lesbian, to where they're like fighting about like, can you really be a more masculine lesbian and not have to be a transgender? See, I get so confused. A transgender male. Do you understand or no? Did I lose you?
No, you lost me.
Okay.
Also, because that's stupid. I got you. I understand.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, y'all are fighting. Y'all are mad because the lesbian that doesn't want to transition into a male, but just likes to look a little bit more, I guess
manlier,
tomboyish. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They can't be lesbians. Oh, wait, who are you to decide? It's so crazy to me.
Yeah.
This book, guys, if you literally purchase it, like read it, because I'm sitting on the airplane like, what? Are you kidding me? Now even lesbians have to defend how they feel. You're telling me you transgender male are telling me the lesbian more tomboyish. What, I don't even know what you call it. The more as people, let me just call it, I guess what people label it, the butch female, the feminine female, right? So me, the more butch lesbian, I have to transition into a male. What?
It's so dumb. It's so dumb.
I'm reading this book and it just blows my mind, because I'm just like, I never in a million years. And I'm going to end it with this, because I want for you guys to go look this up, and I'm going to post it on our Facebook group. I saw Ben Shapiro, like, how he'll like clown, or I don't know, like different TikToks of like
the way he reacts.
Reactions to woke TikToks. Guys,
are you going to play something?
There is one where the girl says, I think you even sent it to me, Rob.
She
says, I am Zigzar.
Oh, yes. The pronouns.
What is that?
Mental illness is what that is.
Rob.
It's mental illness.
What are those even?
Those are lost, loony people.
Wait, but where? What? Who made that up? I can't. Like...
Crazy liberal bubbles in schools.
Okay. Guys, if you can decipher this for me, you're a G, and I'm going to send you something big. If you can tell me...
Pronouns em, er, ers, or z's, zers, or really any neo-pronouns that aren't z, her, hers. I am a white, transmasculine, femme, non-binary, temporarily mostly able-bodied, neurodivergent, obsessive-compulsive, chronically ill, culturally Jewish, Unitarian Universalist, non-monogamous, demi-low romantic, gray demi-bisexual, survivor of acute and complex trauma.
Okay, I'm going to pause it because what is a demi-low romantic, non-monogamous, Unitarian Universalist, culturally Jewish, chronically ill, obsessive-compulsive, neurodivergent, temporarily mostly able-bodied, non-binary, transmasculine, white femme. What?
Well, that was either somebody that was dropped on their head as a kid or was hit in the head.
Rob,
as
how
an
do
adult.
you even say that? Are you reading that somewhere? Okay, let's let it.
Millennial and cat parent in mental health recovery.
Oh, there you go. See, mental health recovery, of course. There's like 7 of these people in the country, and they're all mental health issues.
I saw that and I said, what?
Dude.
Someone explain each one of them to me. So I've made it my homework to look up all of them for you guys.
Ooh.
And we're going to learn them together.
I like that. We'll do that
My
next
homework
week.
is not done. So yes, it'll be next week. I'm barely on the first one. Zers. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it right. Okay.
Yeah, you're right, Zers.
It is it? Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about it next week, guys.
Well, if you guys are interested in hearing more of the political talk with Chingo Bling and myself, I got this interesting email just now. So from it's like a podcast directory company here that just sent this random email like, hey, you might find this interesting about Red Pill Tamales. Your podcast, Red Pill Tamales, is performing well on the Apple podcast rankings in the last 30 days. It's 41 in the news commentary in Mexico. It's 103 in the news commentary for Canada, and top 106 podcasts for news commentary in the United States. Pretty interesting. That's pretty interesting. So I'm gonna look up these charts.
Get on the Red Pill Tamales, girls.
Yeah. You only get you only get a little bit here on Pink Pill Tamales.
You only get a little bit. That's why it's pink here. It hasn't converted to red yet. It's still in the pink phase because I'm just not ready to go red pilled on my ladies yet. We're about how we gonna see. So at church they talked about the woman's role in a relationship, right?
Oh, that's gonna go into what we're talking on the page in the episode. Okay.
So
let's leave it with that cliffhanger.
So with that being said, we are a very important role, ladies. And that is why I'm all about women empowerment. Because...
What, because everybody on this planet came from between some woman's legs?
Thank you. And we make the world go round. And this shit does not function without us. Now, I'm okay with men fucking it up because that's what they're doing. Thank you. That's it. That's all I got to say.
She pointed right at me, guys.
So with that being said, that's why we got to come together, ladies, and we got to make it right so that we can make the head of this man start twisting right and making right decisions and doing right things. Because those politicians right now, they need a better wife in their life. That's all I got to say. Starting with Joe Biden's wife. You are allowing them to abuse your husband.
Yeah.
Stop it. Your husband should be in retirement right now. That's all I got to say.
Better wife in your life.
You need a better wife in your life. So that's all I got to say. Thank you guys for listening. If you haven't subscribed or joined our Patreon, please do so, guys. I know that it's been kind of quiet in there, but my last day on tour is on this Thursday, the 18th, and then we're about to go ham
for the holidays.
So we're about to make it happen, and stay tuned, guys, for all the new episodes and stuff that we'll have for you. And thank you guys for listening and being part of my HERR community and HERR world. I really appreciate it, and I know I tell you guys all the time, but I really do. And I'd rather have 1,000 true fans than 100,000 just lurkers. Bye.